Howdy, howdy. Welcome to Mo's World, the baseball podcast. Yes, it's another baseball podcast where we talk about baseball like a few friends sitting at the bar.
Awesome!
Your input means a lot to us, so please feel free to share your comments. If you enjoy the podcast, be sure to tell your friends about it. This is our 13th episode on Mo's World, the baseball podcast. And I want to extend a big thank you to all our returning listeners for your continued support. For those of you that are new here, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoy the show. On this week's episode, we take a look at some of Major League Baseball's best bar facts. Yep, why not? Maybe I can help you load up on some baseball facts that are stupid, rare, silly, whatever. Well, let's get us going with who threw the furthest baseball in history. Well, the record for the longest throw of a baseball is held by the infamous Glenn Gorbis, a Canadian professional baseball outfielder. On August 1st, 1957, while playing for the Omaha Cardinals in an exhibition game, Gorbis achieved an astonishing throw of 135.89 meters, which relates to 445 feet and 10 inches. This remarkable feat took place at a stadium where he was allowed a 6-step running start before launching the ball from the far right field corner to the far left field corner. So there you go. That's stupid fact number one. What about the farthest baseball hit in history? Well, in today's day of StatCast, I think it's a lot more accurate, but the longest recorded home run in Major League Baseball history is attributed to Babe Ruth. Not a surprise there, who hit a ball an estimated 575 feet at the Polo Grounds in New York City in 1921. This distance has been widely accepted as the longest verified home run in Major League Baseball history. However, when considering all levels of professional baseball, including the minor leagues, the record shifts to Joey Maya, who hit a baseball an astonishing 582 feet during a game for the Denver Zephyrs, who were a AAA affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers, on June 2nd, 1987. This home run was measured using calculations based on trajectory and landing spot at then Mile High Stadium, which is known for its thin air that can enhance the ball flight. So that longest home run in Major League Baseball history is 575 documented feet by Babe Ruth, and including the minor leagues would be Joey Maya at 582 feet. I remember hearing about that one. It was a lot of talk about how they measured it, and it got pretty technical. So, talk about pretty technical. Who has thrown the fastest pitch in baseball? Well, the title of the fastest pitch, and you know what? With a couple guys playing right now, I'm not sure if this is valid anymore, but I think it still is. I think Aroldis Chapman, who threw a fastball at 105.8 miles an hour on September 24th, 2010, is still the fastest pitch. He threw that for the Reds during a game against the Padres at Petco Park in San Diego, California. So I believe that is still the fastest pitch, 105.8. Now, through the years, there's been different ways to determine speed, whether it's recorded by feet covered per second or timing, but determining the fastest runner involves a lot of various metrics. Alrighty, now, Rickey Henderson is widely regarded as the fastest player in Major League Baseball history. I don't know if you can really... Rickey stole a lot of bases, obviously, and he was pretty damn fast, but I don't know if he's the fastest one, you know? While he's often considered the fastest, and that's due to his achievements and influence on the game, Billy Hamilton was known for his incredible speed. Hamilton recorded a sprint speed of 30.5 feet per second during his career, and he stole about 301 bases over 8 seasons. Now, Tim LeCastro, he had a perfect stolen base record of 22 steals without being caught. LeCastro has demonstrated pretty elite speed, too, with an average sprint speed of 30.8 feet per second in 2019. Elly De La Cruz, in more recent seasons, has emerged as one of the fastest players currently active in Major League Baseball, averaging 30.5 feet per second in sprint speed during his rookie season. So I'm going to go with Elly De La Cruz as being the fastest one right now. Ever ask a question when you're watching somebody make error after error in the outfield? It's like, who's the best outfielder? You know, I mean, who doesn't make errors? And it's funny because after reviewing that and both considering career totals and modern defensive metrics, it appears that Nick Markakis is one of the most recent examples of an outfielder with a remarkable low number of errors throughout his career. He finished his career with only 83 errors with over 2,000 games played in Major League Baseball. So I'm gonna anoint Nick Markakis as the outfielder with the fewest errors. And Ozzie Smith, he holds the record for the least amount of errors committed by an infielder since the 70s. So there you go. Now here's one of recent times, kinda. In 2004, Ichiro Suzuki broke the record that stood for 84 years for hits in a season. He had 262 hits in a season. You know, in the world of Joey Gallo and nobody hitting over 300 now, and everybody striking out 25% of the friggin' time almost, I don't know. 262 hits? That's going to stand for a while. Here's a few odd baseball topics. The ground rule triple. Have you heard of that? While the ground rule double is pretty common, a ground rule triple is possible as well. This occurs when a player attempts to use his hat to stop a ball on the ground or in the air. Using your hat is a penalty of 3 bases to both batter and any runner on base. Now, they're saying hat, but it's also if you throw your glove at the ball. Major League Baseball mud. Did you know that every Major League Baseball is covered in mud? From a secret location in New Jersey? No sly comments now. Let's be kind. The mud is called Lena Blackburn Baseball Rubbing Mud and allows pitchers to have a better grip on the ball. Before this mud, baseballs were rubbed in water and dirt and sometimes tobacco juice and shoe polish. Oh, what a pile of shit that must be. Okay, how about this? Get all geared up at the trading deadline and off-season trades, but the biggest trade was in 1957. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs conducted a huge trade. How huge? They traded their entire minor league teams. The Dodgers were preparing to move out west, and the Cubs, they were just wanting a change. Both teams decided to spice things up and traded their entire 25-man minor league roster. I mean, can you freaking imagine that today? How about a team like the Yankees saying, you know what? Let's just trade our entire friggin' minor league teams with the Tampa Bay Rays. Why not? We suck. You know? That is so abstract. Now, ever wonder, how long does a baseball last? Well, whether it's due to going out of the park, getting dirty or damaged, it has been said that a single Major League Baseball only lasts 6 to 7 pitches. It's been said that a typical game goes through about 5 to 6 dozen balls, though the team is responsible to have 90 on hand for each game. That's a lot of baseballs. So it hasn't been so long since this record has been broken, but it's one of these things where, do you know Cal Ripken, what his record was? We all know about Lou Gehrig's. I think the number 2130 was ingrained even if you weren't a baseball fan. But we kind of forget that Ripken played from 82 to 98, and during that time he played in 2,632 consecutive games. The previous record was 2,130 set by Lou Gehrig, and he retired in 1939 with that. And Ripken passed that record in 1995. So, World Series appearances. Have any clue? Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Yogi Berra holds the record for most World Series appearances. He held the record because he appeared and played in 14 World Series, and he earned 10 World Series rings as a New York Yankee. He was always proud to point that out, that he had a World Series ring for every one of his fingers, a feat that no other player has accomplished. I think Pat Mahomes of the Chiefs is jealous over that one as well. Now, who has played for the most Major League Baseball teams? This is a modern era one. In 2019, pitcher Edwin Jackson became the first player in history to play for 14 Major League Baseball teams, a feat he accomplished within the first 17 years of his still active career. The previous record was held by Octavio Dotel, who was a pitcher. Dotel played for 13 teams during his 15 Major League Baseball career, most notably with the Houston Astros. Okay, so what two Major League Baseball players have played the most seasons? Two people hold the record for the number of baseball seasons played. Though the individuals played different centuries, both Nolan Ryan and Cap Anderson. That's a game you don't freaking debate over the water cooler too much. Well, they played for a Major League total of 27 seasons each. Ryan played from 1966 through 1993. Anderson, he played from 1871 to 1897. I don't even consider that freaking baseball, really. Baseball, to me, did not start until 1900. I don't know. I just go by that. Everything before that was fucking ridiculous. As stats, strikes, foul balls, home runs, bouncing into the seats. Everything was wacky before that. Now, what's the largest baseball stadium in the world? Yeah, I was shocked to find out this. I mean, hearing old stories about the original Yankee Stadium and how they turned away 15,000 fans and they couldn't fit them in, hearing this really cracks me up. So what's the largest stadium? Well, with a seating capacity of 56,000, Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles is the largest baseball stadium in the United States. It includes 1,000 more seats than the Estadio Latinoamericana in Havana, Cuba, making Dodger Stadium the largest baseball stadium in the world. In 1996, Ring Central Coliseum, also known as the Dump of Oakland Coliseum, home of the Oakland Athletics till the remainder of this year at least, and previously home to the Oakland Raiders, expanded its seating to 63,132. But current use of the stadium limits seating to just over 47,000. So that cracks me up that Dodger Stadium is the largest stadium now. Stadiums have gotten smaller and smaller. So, what two Hall of Famers played in the longest baseball game? And this is a Guinness World Record. Any idea? The Pawtucket Red Sox and the Rochester Red Wings are two teams from AAA International League who played the longest game in professional baseball history over 3 days in 1981. Talk about not coming through with 2-out hit, right? The game lasted 33 innings with 8 hours and 25 minutes of playing time. Recognize this name? Cal Ripken of the Rochester Red Wings went 2 for 13, and Wade Boggs of the Pawtucket Red Sox went 4 for 12. There you go. That's a stupid stat that hardly anybody will know or remember. And how long does a baseball last? We already did that. Why am I saying that again? But here's one. Did a midget really play in a Major League Baseball game? Eddie Gaedel was the shortest man to ever play in a Major League Baseball game. He was 3 feet 7 inches tall. He was on the St. Louis Browns as their owner, Bill Veeck, put him in the game as a stunt, saying he was, by golly, the best damn midget who ever played big league ball. Of course, Eddie Gaedel was also the only one. But he was 3 feet 7 inches, and he earned a walk in his only at-bat. Okay, this is the era of stats and also trying to record how much a ball moves, whether it's horizontal, vertical. So, ever wonder who invented the curveball? Candy Cummings invented the first curveball in 1867 with the Brooklyn team. 1867, the first, I remember that for years because the name Candy Cummings, that was like a great trivial question. Anytime I heard that, it's like I always remembered who threw the first curveball. Candy Cummings. Okay, so where was the first baseball stadium built? The first baseball stadium was built Forbes Field in June 30th of 1909. It debuted in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It lasted until 1970 as the Pittsburgh Pirates' home. So that, surprisingly, everybody guessed Wrigley Field or Fenway. Fenway is the oldest stadium that's still being played in, but Forbes Field was the first. And that was in 1909. If you're a Pirates fan, I hope you know that one. All right, let's see what else we got. All righty. Well, here's one. I don't really see this one being broken real soon. And it's not one of those ridiculous Cy Young stats of complete games, so don't jump on me already with that. But here's one. Who has the record for most strikeouts in a season by a pitcher? That would be Nolan Ryan of the then California Angels. He holds the record to this day with 383 strikeouts in 1973. He is also the only pitcher who has 3 seasons of over 300 Ks. I don't see that being broken because nobody throws enough innings to do that. It's going to be impossible to break 383 strikeouts. And that was 1973, so this is not one of those abstract, wacky stats from when they used to have donkeys riding between innings, All right, let's wrap up this trivial question thing, and we're going to wrap it up with a couple concerning the Atlanta Braves. How many division championships did the Braves win in the 90s? The Braves won 8 division championships in the 90s, as they were the dominant team of the National League of that decade. How many teams have played every season that Major League Baseball was in existence? There's only one. The Atlanta Braves are the only team. Founded in 1871 in Boston, the franchise has moved once to Milwaukee in 1953, then on to Atlanta in 1966. And that is it with our trivia show for the day. Hey, this was a fun, silly show. I hope you enjoyed our 12th episode of Mo's World, the baseball podcast. Remember, we release new episodes every Friday, each about 20 minutes long. Thank you for listening, and please spread the word to your friends. Next week's show will be a last-minute surprise to keep you on your seats. Or keep you on your feet. I don't know. Well, however that goes. Well, whose world is it? It's Mo's World.